woman's knife. Takes it off very cleanly. The skin is much tougher than you think. Although you shouldn't challenge it with points or slide your knife across it. If you go in perpendicular motion, everything works out your way. I worked in a Japanese style restaurant, and I was surprised at how much scraping they did of the fish after they couldn't cut fillets anymore. It actually peels off when you've gotten it. So it's important I should explain why I'm going to all this length. I make and play African style hand drums, and so I make them. I'm not joking. I make them from scratch. Not often, but I do, and it's been my little life's passion, a little sidebar thing. So in that, I learned to also process the skin. I thought it was a terrible waste that so many animals' skins were thrown away, both by hunters and by people killing them with cars and leaving them on the side of the road. So I took God's beauty and recycled it. Reduce, reuse, recycle, right? Now I learned to do this. From my father-in-law. I learned to skin the animal, and it was on my own that I went through the processes of learning how to flesh and stretch and preserve the skins. I have also done it with ashes, where you take, after you've fleshed off the skin, you take and drop it into some ash water, like made of water blended with hardwood ashes, and you let that remain in there for 3 days or 2, or you check on it, and it causes the hair to come out. You can pull the hair out with your hand, and then it sometimes causes uneven burning of the skin. Makes little weird holes sometimes. It's a caustic solution, meaning it's very high pH, like very high pH. The first time I worked with it barehanded, I looked down and my hands were baby smooth, and I didn't have any more fingerprints. Good story. But I learned that lesson. It will burn you pretty good, like in the same way that working with masonry without gloves will burn you. So lesson learned. That's actually like bloodshot in the skin. It's not flesh attached still. So yeah, there's a fine membrane you've got to get off the back. For acoustic purposes anyway. Sure, for suading purposes there is too. Actually, I know so. But in all cases, you gotta get that fine membrane off the back. It's membrane. Some of it is muscle matter. Some of it's fat. Some of it's just connective. But it goes sideways and it breaks the grain and it rips off. Now It doesn't smell a bit, not a bit. This was very, very quick, the way this guy saw his end. And he was recovered quite quick. So, no, and then the temperature's low, so there was no like insects, so none of the decaying factors were present. Another thing that happens is if they're blown up from the inside, their own stomach begins to ruin everything. This here is a hoop made out of some PEX pipe, just some flexible tubing, and this string is weed eater string. It's not the gospel on how to do it, but they're durable materials that don't tangle, get dirty, they're reusable. So in that respect, they're the right materials. I've used wire, rope, all manner of things. A little PVC rack that just has, you know, 490s on the corner, and 4 4-foot pieces of pipe. I used the same ones of those for years. I've probably done this at least 50 times. Where all the skins and drums are now, I don't know. And then here's the old hoop, all strung up, and there's a light solution of borax powder and water on there. I usually use gray matter on there, and there's tannin and fat in there that helps to finish out the process, but that wasn't possible, so we're going with this. I've tried using nothing and it starts to smell, so you got to use something. I've even used ashes, like ash cake, and put it straight on this side of the skin. And all those methods are acceptable. The creatures on there are helping it out. I'm not going to come back to maggots or anything like that. They'll show up. The bee will sit for a few days, likely up inside the attic of the house, because that's a safe place where animals won't bother it at night. I've had raccoons eat skins right off of a board, or eat bird wings off of a board. I've had my cat eat things off of a board. Anyway, that's how it's done. Be well, and remember, the shovel's always lighter in your own yard.